Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we really try to take that overwhelming flow of information we all face and just boil it down. Get to those critical insights, Those real aha moments, and you need to feel truly well informed.
Absolutely. It's just so much these days.
It really is. Every single day, you're practically drowning in stuff, articles, videos, maybe your own notes you scribble down somewhere, endless emails. The sheer volume is just, well, staggering. And the challenge isn't just consuming it all, it's how do you actually understand it? How do you synthesize it, make it your own, without feeling completely buried?
Right. How do you connect the dots faster?
Exactly. How do we get to those breakthrough insights quicker without losing our minds?
Well, today we're diving headfirst into something that's, I think, rapidly establishing itself as a genuine game changer. It's in the world of personal knowledge management and, of course, artificial intelligence. Google's NotebookLM, that's spot on. And our mission today really is to unpack NotebookLM, not just as another app or digital tool, but as a brand new kind of thinking partner. Think of it like a personal AI expert, but one that's focused exclusively on your information.
Your information only, that's key.
It is. So we're going to explore its foundational technology, try to understand how it's really changing the way we learn and create. We'll look at some incredible real-world applications. People are doing amazing things with it.
Okay.
And we'll even break down what its different versions, the tiered model, means for you, whether you're an individual user or maybe part of a team. Plus, we'll touch on its, frankly, explosive market growth and where Google seems to be taking it next in the whole AI landscape.
And to do that, we've really pulled together a comprehensive stack of sources. We're looking at, deep technical papers explaining the architecture.
Like really nerdy stuff.
Nerdy stuff, exactly. But also official Google documentation, tons of real user testimonials and community discussions, seeing how people actually use it.
Real-world feedback.
Plus, analyses from leading tech media, practical guides. It's the full picture, designed to give you the clearest, most actionable understanding possible. We want you to get those aha moments we talked about.
Definitely.
Okay, let's really dig into this then. NotebookLM, it's rapidly making a name for itself as this transformative AI tool. But what makes it so different from, say, a general-purpose chatbot, the ones we're all kind of familiar with now, that just pull answers from the whole internet? That distinction feels crucial, doesn't it?
It truly is. It's fundamental. NotebookLM represents really a significant paradigm shift. We're moving away from those general chatbots towards something more like personalized, source-grounded AI collaborator.
Source-grounded, right?
Think of it like this. A traditional chatbot, it searches the vast open internet to answer your question. It has this kind of universal knowledge base, which is great for broad queries, right?
Sure, like what's the weather?
Exactly. But that universal access brings challenges. Accuracy, for one, and the potential for what we call hallucinations, where the AI just, makes things up.
We've all seen that.
We have. NotebookLM fundamentally changes that dynamic. It does not search the open internet at all. Instead, it becomes a personalized AI expert exclusively on the information you provide it.
So hang on. It's like I'm creating my own private AI assistant, and its entire world is just the documents I give it. That sounds revolutionary for privacy and control. But does it ever feel limiting? Like, what if I need a bit of outside context to properly understand something in my documents?
That's a great question. And yes, you, the user, curate this specific trusted body of information, your documents, your notes, maybe videos. And that act of curating, it fundamentally transforms your role. You're not just asking questions, you're effectively the editor of the AI's knowledge base.
Ah, I see. So I control what it knows.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this is the primary source of the tool's reliability and its focus. To your point about limiting the power actually comes from its laser focus on your content. If you realize you need some outside context to understand, say, a technical term in your notes, you simply add another source that explains that term, maybe a web page or another document. You expand its knowledge base yourself.
Okay, so I curate its world.
Exactly. This content isolation is fundamental. It means your sensitive or private information stays your information. It's completely separate from Google's broader AI training efforts, which directly addresses those critical privacy concerns people have.
That's huge.
It is. And Google explicitly states this. User data, including your source uploads and your queries, are not used to train their underlying models. That reinforces its identity as a trusted thinking partner, a virtual research assistant, not just another window onto the public web.
That foundation of trust is massive.
Uh,
So, okay, if it's not pulling from the internet and it's relying only on my documents,
yeah.
how does it actually get its answers? And the big question, how does it avoid those infamous AI hallucinations? Where an AI just invents facts. That's a major frustration.
Right. And this brings us neatly to its core architectural advantage, something called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or AGG for short. Now, this isn't just a technical detail. It's the fundamental reason NotebookLM earns your trust and, yes, dramatically reduces those hallucinations. Imagine, just for a second, never again having to second guess if the AI is just making stuff up.
That would be a game changer.
That's what RG enables. It's an AI framework that cleverly combines the strengths of, let's say, traditional information retrieval, like a search engine, with the cutting-edge generative capabilities of large language models, like Gemini.
Okay, combining search and generation.
Exactly. And it's a systematic and actually surprisingly transparent process. It happens in 3 core stages that work together to ensure the answers are accurate and grounded in your stuff.
3 stages. Okay, walk us through them. Simply, how does it work under the hood?
Absolutely. Let's break down RGAG. Think of it like this. Instead of the AI just guessing an answer from its massive general knowledge.
Which can go wrong.
Right. Instead, NotebookLM looks up the exact right passages from your notes first. And only then does it use those specific passages to build the answer. It's kind of like it has to cite its sources before it even speaks.
Okay, look it up first. Makes sense. What's stage 1?
Stage 1 is ingestion and indexing. So when you create a notebook in NotebookLM and you add your sources, and this is where its versatility really shines, you can upload all sorts. PDFs, Google Docs, slides, website URLs, public YouTube videos, audio files like MP3s or WAVs, even just text you paste in.
Wow, quite a range.
It is. Now, once you upload these, the system doesn't just store them like inert files, it processes them. It breaks the content down into manageable chunks. Think paragraphs or logical sections.
Okay.
And then, crucially, it creates a specialized searchable index of these chunks. This isn't just keyword indexing, it's effectively a vector database that represents the semantic meaning of your information.
Semantic meaning. So it understands the ideas, not just the words.
Yeah, precisely. It's grasping the concepts, the relationships between ideas within your documents. Think of it as creating this incredibly detailed, cross-referenced mental map of your entire private library, where every idea is instantly discoverable based on meaning, not just matching text.
That's a huge step up from basic search. Okay, so it's mapped out my stuff. What's next? Stage 2.
Exactly. Stage 2 is retrieval. Now, when you type a question into the chat interface, the system doesn't immediately send that question to the big language model. No. First, it performs this retrieval step.
It goes back to the index.
It goes back to your index. Using advanced semantic search, that meaning-based search we talked about, it scans your indexed vector database. Its goal is to find and pull out the specific chunks of information that are most relevant to your question.
Okay.
It's like having this hyper-efficient research librarian who only works within your private collection, instantly pulling out the most pertinent paragraphs or sections related to what you just asked.
So it finds the perfect snippets from my own information. That's fantastic. But then what does it do with them to give me the answer? That's stage 3.
That's stage 3, augmentation and generation. So the system has retrieved these relevant chunks of text from your sources. Now, it doesn't just show them to you raw. Instead, it augments your original prompt. It dynamically inserts this retrieved relevant information into the context alongside your question.
Oh, it bundles them together.
Exactly. So the large language model in this case, it's Google's Gemini LLM, receives this combined package, your original query plus the grounded context, the actual quotes, directly from your specific sources.
I see.
The model then uses this rich, focused context it knows is directly relevant because of the retrieval step to generate a coherent and relevant response. And what's so fascinating, so powerful here, is that this multi-step process ensures the LLM's generation is constrained by your provided documents. It's not just riffing based on its general training data, which might be vast, but also potentially inaccurate or outdated.
That genuinely sounds like a dramatic mitigation of hallucination, if not. Well, maybe not the complete end, but close. This sounds like a dream for anyone who's ever had an AI confidently make things up. Are there any scenarios where hallucinations could still creep in, maybe with really weird source material? Or is this approach pretty much foolproof?
It is indeed a dramatic mitigation. As you said, hallucination is a well-known tendency of LLMs to just fabricate facts or details. By grounding every single response in your own trusted materials, NotebookLM provides answers that are traceable, verifiable, and therefore incredibly reliable. Now, is any system 100% foolproof? Probably not, especially if you feed it extremely niche, maybe contradictory or poorly structured source material. There could be edge cases. But the RAG architecture dramatically reduces the likelihood of hallucination to an unprecedented degree for this kind of AI tool.
Okay, so vastly reduced risk.
Vastly. And this foundation of trust is powerfully reinforced by a really key user interface feature, inline citations.
Ah, the citations. Tell me about those.
Okay, so every substantive claim or piece of information that NotebookLM generates in its response is accompanied by these little numbered citations. They aren't just decorative flair.
Right.
No, they directly indicate the precise source document and the specific passage within that document that the AI used to formulate that part of the answer.
So it's like an interactive verification system built right in. I can see exactly where the information came from. That feels like a superpower for building trust and actually understanding the output.
Yes, precisely that. It is an interactive verification system. You can hover your mouse over or click on a citation number, and the interface will immediately pop up or highlight the exact quote from the original source document.
Instantly.
Instantly. It allows for immediate fact-checking and, just as importantly, lets you see the surrounding context in the original source. This really transforms how you interact with AI-generated content. You shift from just passively accepting what it says.
Hoping it's right.
Right, to actively engaging with it, verifying it. It's that ability to see the source, not just the answer, instantly. It fosters, I think, a much more sophisticated and responsible form of AI literacy.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this verifiable, source-grounded approach is precisely what makes NotebookLM uniquely dependable for those high-stakes applications we mentioned. Think academic research where citations are everything. Legal analysis, medical documentation review, education, professional learning.
Right.
Anywhere accuracy and attribution are absolutely paramount, it brings a new level of confidence because the proof is always just a click away.
That reliability is incredibly compelling. Okay, now that we have a solid grasp of how it works, let's explore what you can actually do with it. Because as you hinted, this isn't just about managing information. It sounds like it's designed to fundamentally alter the learning process itself. It can become your personal Socratic tutor, pushing you to think deeper, not just asking for summaries. Tell us about that side of it.
This is where the platform truly goes beyond simple summarization, I think. The chat interface in NotebookLM isn't just for asking factual questions. It enables a type of dialogic learning, back and forth that transcends basic Q&A.
Okay.
You can actually position the AI, you can tell it act as a debate partner and have it explore nuances within your source material from different angles, or act as my personal tutor and have it deconstruct complex ideas step by step based on your uploaded texts.
Right.
And interestingly, the user community has really run with this. They've developed these sophisticated, deep prompts, basically structured queries designed to elicit higher-order thinking and critical analysis from the AI. It pushes it beyond mere summarization into, well, true intellectual engagement.
Deep prompts. That sounds fascinating. Could you give us some concrete examples? How are people actually pushing this AI to think more deeply?
Certainly. There are some really clever techniques emerging. One powerful one is called the dialectical lens. You instruct the AI to construct a debate. Imagine between two fictional scholars who hold opposing interpretations of a concept found in your sources. And critically, the AI has to pull supporting evidence for each side directly from your texts.
Wow. So it forces you to see both sides using your own material.
Exactly. Imagine using that for a complex philosophical text or a scientific controversy. It forces you to grapple with multiple viewpoints grounded in the evidence you provided. Another technique is the antithesis method.
Antithesis.
Yeah, you prompt the AI to take a central argument from your content and then explore its complete opposite, its antithesis. And the task is to identify any unintentional evidence within your text that might actually support this contrary view. It's a fantastic way to stress test an argument or uncover hidden assumptions.
That's clever, finding counter-arguments in your own sources.
Right. And then there's one I find particularly creative, the fictional interview. You frame the interaction as if you're a skeptical journalist interviewing the author of one of your source documents. Okay. This compels the AI, acting as the author, to anticipate critical questions about their work and defend their points, again, using only the text you provided. It forces a deeper level of analysis and justification.
That's a massive leap from, just summarize this page for me. It forces a much, much deeper engagement with the material. Are there any common pitfalls people run into when they first try these deep prompts, or maybe some tips for getting the most out of them?
It really does foster that deeper engagement. A common pitfall initially is being a bit too vague with the prompt. The key is to be very explicit. Explicit about the role you want the AI to play, act as a skeptical peer reviewer, act as a debate coach, and the specific outcome you're looking for, identify weaknesses, generate counter-arguments, explain this concept to a novice.
Be specific.
Very specific. Instead of just tell me about this argument, try something like acting as a critical historian. Identify 3 potential biases in this author's account, setting specific lines from the text as evidence. The more structure you provide, the more sophisticated and useful the AI's output will be.
Got it. Structure is key.
And this isn't just theoretical fun. Researchers have actually put this into practice. They successfully configured NotebookLM to function as a collaborative physics tutor.
Oh.
They uploaded a training manual as one of the source documents. This manual explicitly instructed the AI on Socratic pedagogical principles, how to teach, by asking guiding questions, not just giving answers.
They taught the AI how to teach.
Precisely. So when a student using this notebook expressed uncertainty about a physics concept, the AI didn't just spit out the definition. Instead, drawing on its instructions, it responded with a scaffolding question like, okay, to start, can you recall how current is related to voltage and resistance according to Ohm's law? It guided the student to retrieve the knowledge themselves.
That's fantastic. It didn't give the answer, it prompted the student.
Exactly. It demonstrates the immense power of combining that Aurier architecture, ensuring it sticks to the physics content with explicit pedagogical instructions. You can create a truly interactive and effective AI tutor tailored to your specific subject matter.
Now, this next feature. This is something I found particularly intriguing when I was looking into NotebookLM, and I think many listening will too. Here's where it gets really interesting, maybe even a bit sci-fi. One of its most distinctive features is its ability to generate audio overviews, essentially turning your static source material, your documents, into a podcast-style discussion. Tell us more about how this works and why it's been such a breakthrough feature.
You're right to highlight this one. This feature has been widely hailed, maybe even hyped a bit, as a potential killer app for this kind of AI. Some commentators called it a highly compelling LLM product format. And the comparison has even been made in terms of its impact and novelty to the initial release of ChatGPT itself.
Wow, that's high praise.
It is, because it opens up an entirely new way to interact with your own knowledge. It's that significant. And the workflow is incredibly straightforward, almost deceptively simple. You upload your sources, your papers, notes, articles. Then from the studio panel within NotebookLM, you just click Generate Audio Overview. That's basically it. Within a few minutes, depending on the amount of source material, you get a downloadable MP3 audio file and hopefully a full transcript of the generated audio.
Okay.
But here's the magic. The AI hosts, typically generated as 2 distinct voices, don't simply read your text aloud like a basic text-to-speech engine. That would be useful, but this is much more. They actually synthesize the information into a natural-sounding conversation.
A conversation between the AI voices.
Yes. They discuss key themes found across your documents. They might even debate concepts or highlight connections, provide examples, all grounded, of course, in your source material. It's like having 2 expert guides sitting down and discussing your research papers, bringing potentially dense or dry information vibrantly to life.
That's amazing, and I read you can even customize this now. You can ask the host to focus on particular topics or adopt a certain tone, maybe adjust their level of expertise.
That's right. That's a more recent enhancement, giving users more creative control over the output. You can guide the conversation. But the truly groundbreaking addition, although it might still be flagged as experimental, is the interactive mode.
Interactive mode for audio. What does that mean?
It means you can actually vocally interrupt the playing audio overview.
You can talk back to the podcast.
Essentially, yes. You interrupt, ask a clarifying question out loud. Wait, can you explain that concept again? Or what evidence supports that claim? And the AI provides a live conversational response, still grounded in your source documents. Then the original audio can resume.
Hold on. So I can effectively join the podcast discussion about my own notes and steer it in real time.
That's exactly what it allows. Imagine listening to this generated podcast of your research while you're commuting. Something isn't clear, you just speak up, ask your question, the AI clarifies it instantly using your documents, and then the discussion continues. It's like having an on-demand personal tutor embedded directly into your audio content. It's incredibly powerful.
That's genuinely incredible. So thinking about the impact on learning here.
Yeah.
how does this change how we absorb information? It feels like more than just convenience.
The impact is definitely multifaceted. First, obviously, it's a massive boon for auditory learners. It gives them a completely new, engaging way to interact with material that might previously have only been available as text.
Makes sense.
Second, it enables incredible multitasking. Users can absorb complex information during commutes, while exercising, doing chores, turning what might have been passive time into productive learning time. That flexibility is huge.
Yeah, reclaiming dead time.
Exactly. And third, perhaps most importantly, it makes dense, technical, or just lengthy material significantly more accessible and engaging, especially for people who find reading large amounts of text challenging or just, frankly, unappealing. It transforms what might feel like a chore wading through a 50-page report into an active, potentially enjoyable, and certainly more flexible learning experience.
Yeah. Okay, so audio is a huge part of the story. But beyond audio, NotebookLM also offers powerful tools for visual learning and synthesis, right? Letting you see the structure of your knowledge, watch explanations unfold. This seems to lean into catering for different learning styles, too.
Absolutely. Complementing those audio capabilities, we have two key visual features that are really worth highlighting. First up, mind maps.
Ah, mind maps. I like those. How does it work here?
With just a single click, literally one button, NotebookLM generates an interactive visual organization of the key concepts and relationships it finds within and across your uploaded source documents.
Automatically.
It creates this branching diagram showing main topics, subtopics, and related ideas, and it's interactive. You can navigate it by expanding and collapsing the branches. You can zoom in on specific areas to see more detail. And importantly, you can click on any individual node, any concept on the map.
Yeah.
And that click actually prompts the chat interface to discuss that specific concept using your sources.
Oh, that's smart. So the map is also an interface to the chat.
Precisely. For visual learners, this is just invaluable. It helps you grasp the overall structure of a complex subject almost instantly. You can see the forest and the trees and discover connections between ideas that might not be obvious from just reading the text linearly. It's like getting the blueprint of your knowledge laid out visually.
That sounds incredibly useful for complex topics.
Yeah.
And then there are the videos, which I gather are a more recent addition.
Yes, video overviews. This is a newer and frankly more ambitious feature. It automatically creates a narrated slide presentation directly from your source materials.
A whole presentation. How does it do that?
The AI does a few things. It synthesizes your content into a script, deciding what the key points are and how to structure the explanation. Then it generates new visuals, like title slides or simple graphics, to accompany the narration. But what's particularly clever is how it also intelligently incorporates existing visuals from your documents.
Like charts or diagrams I uploaded.
Exactly. If you uploaded PDFs or slides with images, diagrams, charts, or even just highlighted key quotes, the AI will try to pull those relevant visuals directly into the video presentation to illustrate its points.
That's very sophisticated.
It is. And this format turns out to be uniquely effective for certain kinds of content. Explaining data-heavy topics where seeing the chart is crucial. Demonstrating multi-step processes, making abstract concepts more tangible and easier to follow along with. And just like with the audio overviews, you can customize these videos to some extent by providing instructions. Focus on the methodology. Explain this for a beginner audience. Highlight the key findings. It's like having your own personal documentary filmmaker for your research notes.
Wow. So what does this all mean when you put it together? The audio, the mind maps, the videos, plus the chat. It sounds like a significant step towards a truly holistic learning environment. You can really engage with your material in so many different ways now.
Precisely. That's the big picture here. By allowing users to generate and interact with multiple formats, audio, video, mind maps, and of course text-based summaries or Q&A simultaneously from the same core set of sources, the platform facilitates this kind of parallel synthesis of information.
Parallel synthesis. Tell me more.
Well, you could, for instance, be listening to an audio overview discussing the main themes of your research.
While commuting, maybe.
Exactly. And at the same time, you could be exploring the corresponding mind map on your tablet, visually seeing how those themes connect. You're engaging both your auditory and visual processing pathways simultaneously. This builds a deeper, more resilient understanding of the material. It's multisensory learning from your own notes.
That makes a lot of sense, catering to different strengths.
It really does. This multimodal approach inherently caters to diverse learning styles. It aligns beautifully with principles of universal design for learning, making complex knowledge more accessible to a much wider range of learners. It fundamentally transforms that passive consumption of information, just reading, into active multisensory engagement. It enables you, the user, to build a richer, more nuanced mental model of whatever subject you're studying.
That's a fascinating look at the features themselves. But NotebookLM's true power, I think, often comes alive when you see how people are actually using it in the real world.
Yeah.
Its versatility is best shown through these diverse applications, from, serious academic deep dives to some wildly creative personal projects. People are using this tool in incredibly inventive ways. What are some of the most compelling examples you've come across?
The range is truly impressive, and it really speaks to the tool's adaptability. Let's start with academic and educational use, because that's a natural fit and where we see a lot of uptake. For students, it's proving to be a real powerhouse. We heard about MBA students at the Ivy Business School, for example. They routinely get these dense, 100-plus page case studies they need to analyze for class.
Oh yeah, those are monsters.
Exactly. They're using NotebookLM to distill the key insights, the main arguments, the crucial data points overnight. This frees them up enormously. Instead of spending hours just reading and highlighting, they can focus their energy on crafting nuanced arguments for the class debates the next day. It fundamentally changes their preparation workflow, letting them jump to higher-order thinking much faster.
That's a huge advantage. What about other types of students?
We're seeing similar things elsewhere. Machine learning students, for instance, are building personalized tutors. They upload their textbooks, complex research papers, maybe even lecture notes. Then they ask the AI to explain difficult concepts like, say, backpropagation in neural networks, but critically, using their own notes and the specific examples from their course material as the foundation for the explanation.
So it speaks their language, using their context.
Precisely. It's not a generic explanation. It's tailored to their learning context. Others are using it more simply, but just as effectively, to generate practice quizzes directly from their readings, complete with answers and explanations referenced back to the source text. Great for exam prep.
Yeah, I wish I'd had that. And what about for educators? How are teachers and professors leveraging it? In the classroom or for course design?
Educators are finding really unique applications too. There was one professor who uploaded their entire course curriculum syllabi, readings, lecture notes, assignments, 149 documents in total.
Wow.
They created this comprehensive knowledge base for the course. The goal was to provide students with an AI assistant, grounded in the official course materials, that they could query first before emailing the professor with common questions.
Like a super TA.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It acts as a first line of academic support, answering factual questions based on the course documents. This not only empowers students to find answers quickly, 247, but it also frees up the professor's time for more complex questions and deeper pedagogical interactions.
That's incredibly smart. Scaling support.
Exactly. And other teachers are using it to create highly accessible learning materials. For instance, generating audio summaries of required readings for students with dyslexia, or for those who just learn better by listening. It helps democratize access to the core information for everyone in the class.
That's fantastic. Okay, what about outside of education? In research and professional work, where managing huge volumes of specialized information is often the name of the game.
In research and professional work, it's proving to be a massive game changer for both efficiency and depth of analysis. I spoke with a PhD scholar who described using NotebookLM constantly. They use it to synthesize vast amounts of literature for their lit review, comparing different theoretical frameworks across dozens of papers, quickly tracing citations back to their original source. They said it dramatically accelerated what's often the most time-consuming and, frankly, tedious part of dissertation writing.
I can only imagine. Literature reviews are brutal.
They are. And there's another, even more advanced workflow I heard about. Some researchers are using tools like Readwise, which lets you export highlights and notes from Kindle books or articles directly into Google Docs.
Oh.
Then they upload these Google Docs, filled with their personal highlights and annotations from everything they've read, into NotebookLM. This allows them to literally have a conversation with the key passages from their entire reading library accumulated over years, pulling specific insights, comparing arguments across books they read months apart, all in moments.
That's like having a searchable conversational version of your own brain's reading history.
It's getting close. For other professionals, we're seeing really practical uses, people leveraging it to compare complex documents side by side. Imagine uploading two different dense insurance policies or two competing pieces of legislation. You can ask the AI, highlight the key differences between these two documents regarding Clause X, or Draft a summary of the pros and cons of Proposal A versus Proposal B based on these reports.
That saves hours of painstaking comparison.
Absolutely. In marketing, professionals are uploading competitor analysis reports, market research data, even transcripts from brainstorming sessions. They use NotebookLM to identify emerging trends, generate new product ideas grounded in their collected intelligence, or even draft initial marketing copy based on key themes. It's like having a dedicated, tireless analyst for your specific project documents, providing bespoke insights on demand.
And it goes beyond just the traditional work stuff too, right? You mentioned some really unique, almost whimsical, creative, and personal applications that really show off its versatility.
Oh, absolutely. The tool's applications stretch far beyond the expected academic or professional work into genuinely novel, sometimes quite personal domains. One user story that really stuck with me. Someone fed NotebookLM an 8-year-long group chat history they had exported with their close friends.
8 years of group chat. Oh my.
Right. Imagine the volume. But the AI was able to process it all. And it could identify recurring inside jokes over the years, analyze the evolving group dynamics based on who spoke when and about what, and even summarize the highlights of each year's annual trip they took together.
That's both amazing and slightly terrifying. But incredible for nostalgia or maybe creating a best-of compilation.
Exactly. Or just understanding your own social history in a new way. And speaking of niche but passionate communities.
It laughs. Yes. I think I know where this might be going. Trying to remember which NPC said what in a D&D game.
You got it. Another fascinating example comes directly from the world of tabletop role-playing games. Dungeon Masters, or GMs for games like Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder. They deal with a lot of information. Campaign notes, complex rulebooks, character backstories, session transcripts.
It's world building on the fly sometimes.
It really is. So they're uploading all of this material into NotebookLM. This allows them, during the game, to instantly query things like, what did the shady NPC Alara tell the players about the stolen artifact last session? Or quickly summarize the rules for grappling. They can track complex plot points that might span months of real time, and they can even generate detailed session recaps for their players afterwards.
That's a fantastic example. It's like having a perfect instant memory for this complex, evolving fictional world. It must free up so much mental energy for the DM to actually focus on the storytelling and improvisation.
That's exactly what users report. It handles the knowledge management, letting them focus on the creative aspects. And all these examples, from the academic to the personal to the fantastical, they underscore a really key aspect of NotebookLM's power. It enables what you could call a recursive loop of knowledge refinement.
A recursive loop, how does that work?
Okay, so you can engage in a long exploratory chat with your sources within NotebookLM. You ask questions, get summaries, debate points, and you save the most valuable insights the AI generates as notes right there within the platform.
Right, you can save chat snippets as notes.
Exactly. But then, and here's the loop, you can use the Convert All Notes to Source feature. This takes all those saved AI-generated insights and compiles them into a new source document within that same notebook.
Ah, so the AI's output becomes new input.
Precisely. This new synthesized source document, which represents a distillation of your previous interaction, can then become the basis for a fresh round of analysis. You can ask questions of the AI's previous summary. You can ask it to synthesize that document further. You could even generate an audio overview from the AI's own distilled insight.
Wow, that really closes the loop.
It does. And this workflow, it truly transforms you. You go from being just a passive consumer of information to being an active creator and refiner of knowledge. It's not just about getting answers anymore. It's about continually building, evolving, and enriching your personal knowledge base, making your own understanding sharper and more synthesized over time.
Okay, that's a powerful concept. Shifting gears a bit now, let's talk about access and cost. How can people actually get their hands on NotebookLM? Google seems to have implemented a tiered strategy, offering a pretty capable free version and then a premium tier. For many of us listening, the free version might be all we need, right? What can you actually do with it, and what are its limitations?
That's right. And the good news is the free version of NotebookLM is incredibly robust. It's definitely not just a crippled demo or a limited trial. It provides access to the platform's full suite of core functionalities, including that entire studio panel we talked about.
So all the cool generation features.
All of them. Free users can create notebooks, upload all those different source types we mentioned, PDFs, docs, URLs, audio, video links, etc., and utilize all those generation features. Summaries, study guides, FAQs, timelines, mind maps, video overviews, and the audio overviews.
Okay, that's genuinely impressive for free.
It really is. This makes it an exceptionally powerful and, importantly, accessible resource for individual students, researchers, professionals, anyone with moderate needs, really. It's designed to be immediately useful for serious work without requiring any upfront payment.
So it's pretty generous right out of the gate, but there must be some limits on the free tier. What kind of usage can someone expect before they might hit a ceiling?
Yes, there are limits, primarily quantitative usage limits, but again, they're designed to be quite generous for most typical individual use cases. With the standard free version, you get up to 100 notebooks, which is quite a lot of separate projects or topics.
100 notebooks, okay.
Within each notebook, you can have up to 50 sources. Again, allowing for pretty substantial collections of documents or materials within a single project.
50 sources per notebook.
Got it. The limit per individual source is also very generous, up to 500,000 words per source. So you can upload massive documents, reports, even entire books in many cases.
500,000 words per source.
Yeah, it covers most things. And then there are the daily limits on generation features. You get up to 50 chat queries per day, up to 3 audio generations per day, and up to 3 video generations per day.
50 queries, 3 audio, 3 video per day.
Correct. Now, for most personal projects, academic assignments, or typical daily professional needs, these limits are generally more than sufficient. You'd have to be a really, really heavy power user, or perhaps generating lots of multimodal content every single day to consistently hit those daily ceilings.
Okay, so the free version sounds incredibly capable, maybe even surprisingly so. For many of us, that might be absolutely all we need, but obviously, there is a paid tier. So for those who are pushing the limits or maybe have different needs like collaboration, who is this Paid Plus Pro tier actually designed for? And what kind of extra value or power user features does it unlock?
That's the million-dollar question, or maybe the 20 a month question, depending on the plan. The paid upgrade, sometimes it's branded as NotebookLM Plus or Pro, and it's typically accessed through a subscription like Google One AI Premium, or included in certain Google Workspace or Google Cloud plans, is definitely aimed at a different segment. It's designed for the power users, for teams, and for enterprises.
Okay.
It's really for those who adopt NotebookLM as a central, indispensable part of their daily or weekly workflows, and who require significantly more capacity, more flexibility, and particularly more advanced collaborative tools. The benefits really fall into 2 main categories. First, significantly expanded usage limits, and second, a set of exclusive premium features that enhance collaboration, customization, and security.
Right, let's start with those expanded limits then. If I'm someone working with vast amounts of information or using it constantly, how much more runway do I get with the paid tier?
The increase in capacity on the Plus Pro tier is truly substantial. It's designed for heavy lifting. Instead of the 100 notebooks on the free tier, you get up to 500 notebooks.
Wow, a 5x increase.
Exactly. Perfect if you're managing dozens of complex projects, client files, or research areas simultaneously. The number of sources allowed per notebook also jumps significantly, from 50 up to 300.
That's a 6x increase.
Right. Crucial if you're doing really deep dives into extensive literature, analyzing massive data sets spread across many documents, or building comprehensive knowledge bases for large topics.
Okay, that makes sense for scale. What about the daily limits?
Those see huge boosts, too. Daily chat queries go from 50 on the free tier up to 500 per day.
A 10x increase.
10 times more. That's absolutely essential if you're using it for intensive research involving lots of back-and-forth Q&A, continuous analysis throughout the day, or maybe as an interactive tutor that students access frequently. And those multimodal generation limits also increase significantly. Both daily audio generations and daily video generations go from 3 per day up to 20 per day.
Nearly a 7x increase for audio and video.
Correct. So if you're an educator creating audio summaries for multiple classes, a content creator regularly producing video explainers, or just someone who prefers learning through audio video and uses it heavily, those higher limits become really important. They enable large-scale projects and continuous content creation that would just be impossible on the free tier.
Okay, those expanded limits clearly cater to high-volume users. But beyond just more capacity, what are the exclusive premium features? What capabilities do you unlock that might justify the upgrade for a power user, or especially for a team or business?
This is where the value proposition goes beyond just quantity. The premium features are really geared towards deeper customization, more sophisticated collaboration, and enterprise-level control and security. First, you get advanced chat settings.
Advanced chat settings, what does that entail?
This allows you to fine-tune the AI's conversation style much more precisely. You can select from preset personas, for example, choose guide if you want a more conversational, explanatory tone, or select analyst if you need a more direct, concise, just the facts kind of output.
Oh, interesting. Tailoring the AI's voice.
Exactly. You can even create custom styles, defining specific instructions for how you want the AI to behave in its responses, which is fantastic for highly specific workflows or maintaining a consistent team voice. And you can also specify the desired output lengths more granularly, asking for shorter responses for quick summaries or longer responses for detailed explanations. This level of control lets you tailor the AI's voice and output precisely to the specific task or audience, making it a much more versatile and predictable partner.
Okay, that's neat. What else? You mentioned collaboration.
Yes, the second key area is advanced sharing controls. Now, free users can share their notebooks, but typically it's with full access. The collaborator can see the sources and chat with the AI. Plus, Pro users gain a crucial additional option. They can share notebooks in a chat-only mode.
Chat-only mode.
Meaning you can invite collaborators to interact with the AI expert you've created. They can ask it questions, get grounded answers based on the sources, but without being able to view or access the underlying source documents themselves. That's huge for confidentiality. It's absolutely critical in many contexts. Imagine sharing insights from proprietary market research with a partner agency, or providing access to an AI expert trained on sensitive legal documents without exposing the raw files. This allows you to share the expertise derived from the information while rigorously protecting the proprietary or confidential nature of the source material itself.
That's a very powerful feature for business or sensitive research. What else is premium?
Third, for shared notebooks, the owner gets access to notebook analytics.
Analytics.
Yeah.
Like usage stats.
Exactly. The owner can view basic usage data, such as how many unique users access the shared notebook daily, and the total number of queries made within that notebook over the past week. This provides valuable feedback for, say, an educator monitoring student engagement with course materials shared via NotebookLM, or a team lead assessing how actively a shared knowledge base is being utilized by their organization. It gives you a pulse on how the shared resource is being used.
Okay, useful for tracking engagement. And the last point was security.
Yes, and this is particularly relevant for organizations using Google Workspace or Google Cloud. For these customers, NotebookLM Plus is considered a core workspace service. This means it comes with enterprise-grade security and privacy guarantees, such as robust data protection protocols, compliance with regulations like FERPA, crucial for education, advanced identity and access management, IAM controls to manage who can access what within the organization, and importantly, a guarantee that your organization's data submitted to NotebookLM will not be reviewed by humans at Google and will not be used to improve Google's general AI models.
That's a major assurance for businesses.
It's paramount for businesses handling sensitive client data, internal proprietary information, or operating in regulated industries where data residency and privacy controls are non-negotiable.
Okay, so considering all of that, the expanded limits, the advanced chat, the secure sharing, analytics, enterprise security, what does this all mean for your investment, for our listeners who might be weighing their options between free and paid?
It really comes down to mapping these features against your specific needs and workflow intensity. For the casual user, the individual student with moderate course loads, or the professional using it for occasional projects, the free version offers immense value and is likely completely sufficient. It gives you incredible power at zero cost.
Right. Start free, see if you hit limits.
Exactly. The paid tier, the Plus Pro version, becomes clearly justified for several groups. First, the true power users. Think PhD candidates working with hundreds of sources, journalists constantly synthesizing interviews and reports, legal analysts comparing vast numbers of documents, or content creators regularly producing multimodal summaries. Anyone engaging in intensive daily Q&A or hitting those audio-video generation limits will find the upgrade essential.
Okay, the heavy individual users.
Second, and perhaps even more clearly, it's justified for teams and enterprises. Here, the value proposition shifts towards collaboration, creating centralized knowledge bases, leveraging those advanced sharing controls for secure information dissemination, and needing the reassurance of enterprise-grade security and data governance for proprietary or sensitive information.
Makes sense for organizational use.
And it's also worth noting, the decision is often simplified because NotebookLM Plus Pro is frequently bundled within broader Google subscriptions like Google One AI Premium. That plan often includes other valuable tools like Gemini Advanced, Google's top-tier chatbot, and significant cloud storage, like 2 TB. So for many people already invested in the Google ecosystem, the upgrade becomes part of a larger, compelling value package, not just a standalone decision about NotebookLM itself.
That's a good point about the bundling. Okay, let's zoom out a bit now and look at the bigger picture. The numbers you're about to share really speak volumes. NotebookLM's growth trajectory, especially since its initial reveal as Project Tailwind back in 2023, has been nothing short of remarkable. This isn't just hype, is it? The numbers seem to tell a truly compelling story of rapid adoption and significant impact.
They absolutely do. Its utilization isn't just growing. You could fairly describe it as exploding, and the data really backs that up. Let's look at some key data points just to illustrate the scale. Even before the launch of its dedicated mobile apps and some of the other major features we've discussed, the monthly visits to the NotebookLM website grew by 56% over just a 6-month period.
56% growth pre-mobile. That's strong organic interest.
It indicates it was clearly addressing a real unmet need. But that growth absolutely took off. It accelerated dramatically with the release of the mobile apps in May 2025. Get this. The platform's total number of active users doubled in just a few weeks following that mobile launch.
Doubled in a few weeks. Just from adding mobile apps, that's astonishing.
It really is. A 100% increase in the user base in that short time frame, driven primarily by making it accessible on the go. It shows how crucial mobile access is for this kind of tool.
Incredible. What about how people are actually using the features, though? Are they just signing up and kicking the tires, or are they deeply engaging with these capabilities like audio and video?
The feature engagement metrics are equally impressive, and they strongly indicate deep, sustained engagement, not just casual signups. For example, in one reported 3-month period, users collectively generated over 350 years worth of audio overviews.
Wait, 350 years of audio in 3 months?
Just ponder that scale for a moment. 350 years of synthesized audio knowledge generated directly from users' own documents. And when the audio feature expanded its language support, adding over 80 languages, the number of daily audio generations doubled again in just 2 weeks, showing how removing language barriers instantly unlocked massive utility for a global audience.
That's incredible scale and responsiveness to features. What about community and institutional use?
That's growing rapidly, too. In terms of community sharing, over 140,000 public notebooks were created and shared by users within the first month after the public sharing feature was introduced. This indicates users aren't just consuming information in NotebookLM, they're actively using it to create, distill, and then disseminate knowledge out to others.
A creation and sharing platform, not just consumption.
Exactly. And on an institutional level, Google reports that tens of thousands of schools and over 80,000 organizations are now actively using NotebookLM, integrating it into their daily operations, their research workflows, and their learning environments. It's moving from individual adoption to organizational deployment.
So clearly, this isn't just accidental growth. There must be a strategic reason, or set of reasons, for this rapid adoption and the incredible engagement levels we're seeing. What's driving this killer app thesis that some people are putting forward?
You're right, it's not accidental. Its growth really mirrors a classic technology adoption curve. But it's been fueled and accelerated by several strategic factors that address core user needs and, crucially, differentiate NotebookLM powerfully in the crowded AI landscape. We can break these drivers down.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first, and I would argue the most critical, is the trust factor. This is the absolute bedrock. In an era where users are quite rightly wary of AI hallucinations, misinformation, and data privacy issues.
Definitely top of mind for many.
Right. NotebookLM's unwavering commitment, architecturally through RAG, to source-grounded, verifiable, and citable answers makes it uniquely trustworthy, especially for serious academic and professional work where accuracy is non-negotiable. It's not just another clever AI tool, it functions as an anchor of verifiable truth for your personal knowledge. The foundational reliability is what makes it truly indispensable for many.
So trust is the foundation. What built on that?
Next came the wow factor. This was the initial hook, the thing that generated buzz and got people talking. Specifically, that audio overview feature we discussed earlier. It was genuinely unprecedented when it launched.
Yeah, turning notes into a podcast felt like magic.
It did. Media outlets described it using terms like flabbergasting and mind-blowing. One publication said it explored a whole new territory of highly compelling LLM product formats. This initial moment of magic, this wow, was crucial for attracting those vital early adopters and generating widespread excitement, showing people a tangible glimpse of what this new kind of AI could do.
Okay, so trust as the base, wow factor is the hook. What accelerated the growth?
That would be the accessibility factor. This was the real accelerator pedal. The launch of dedicated mobile apps for both Android and iOS was a key inflection point. By meeting users on the devices they carry everywhere, Google dramatically lowered the barrier to entry. It seamlessly integrated NotebookLM into on-the-go workflows, listening to audio summaries during a commute, quickly querying notes before a meeting.
Making it ubiquitous.
Exactly. And as we saw from the numbers, this expansion to mobile was directly responsible for that doubling of the user base and the significant increase in audio content creation. It made the power of NotebookLM readily available anytime, anywhere.
Trust. Wow. Accessibility.
Yeah.
What keeps people using it long term?
That brings us to the fourth driver, the utility factor. This is the sustainer. While novelty and accessibility attract users initially, sustained growth and deep integration into habits are driven by solving real, persistent problems.
How to do that?
It absolutely excels at solving common, often frustrating pain points for almost anyone who deals with a lot of information, what we often call knowledge workers, synthesizing scattered information from multiple sources, analyzing dense reports quickly, generating outlines or summaries, preparing for meetings or exams by querying relevant documents. It addresses tangible challenges in daily workflows. This practical utility ensures its long-term value and encourages users to integrate it deeply into their habits. It genuinely helps people be more productive and better informed using their own materials.
It really sounds like a confluence of factors, the right tech, the right features, hitting at the right time. And it's not just about the impressive numbers, is it? The qualitative feedback from media, industry experts, and that highly engaged user community you mentioned really brings its impact to life. What are people actually saying about NotebookLM out there?
The media acclaim has been remarkably positive and consistent, which isn't always the case for new tech products. CNBC, for instance, flat out called it the next killer app in generative AI, really highlighting its potential disruptive impact. Barron's framed it as a glimpse into AI's future in the workplace, underscoring its professional significance. And the Wall Street Journal, capturing that initial sense of wonder we talked about, hailed it as one of the most compelling and completely flabbergasting demonstrations of AI's potential yet. This kind of widespread positive reception from major outlets has definitely solidified its reputation as a serious and genuinely innovative tool.
High praise from the press. But sometimes the user buzz is even more telling. What are regular people saying?
That's often where you find the most compelling evidence of real-world value. And on platforms like Reddit, where there's a very active NotebookLM community, the enthusiasm is palpable. Users are constantly sharing an incredible array of ingenious, sometimes unexpected use cases.
Like what?
People describe it using terms like insane and amazing for really diverse tasks. For example, meticulously preparing for job interviews, uploading their resume, the job description, company research reports, and then having interactive Q&A sessions with the AI to practice answers grounded in that specific context.
That's smart interview prep.
Isn't it? Others are using it for deep self-analysis, uploading years of personal journals to identify patterns or trace the evolution of their thoughts on certain topics. Students studying for high-stakes exams like medical boards are using it intensely with textbooks and notes. Project managers are using it to keep track of complex project documentation. And as we mentioned, professors report it's becoming a favorite tool among students for creating those personalized study aids and bespoke podcasts directly from their course materials. This kind of grassroots enthusiasm across such a wide spectrum of needs truly shows that NotebookLM is delivering tangible, meaningful value in people's daily lives and work.
That really brings us to a crucial synthesis point, doesn't it? NotebookLM seems to have firmly established itself now as something more than just an incremental advancement in AI tools. It feels like it's pioneered a genuinely new category, the personalized, verifiable, AI-powered thinking partner.
I think that's a very accurate assessment of its core achievement. And it's profoundly impactful because it tackles head-on that central paradox of modern large language models. Their immense power, their ability to generate human-like text, is often undermined by their inherent unreliability, their tendency to hallucinate or confabulate.
The power versus trust trade-off.
Exactly. By implementing this user-centric RA system, NotebookLM provides access to the advanced reasoning and generation capabilities of Google's powerful Gemini models, but without taking on that significant risk of hallucination that plagues the more general-purpose AIs. This is a fundamental breakthrough.
It separates the power from the unreliability.
Precisely. It transforms what used to be static, often siloed, libraries of personal or professional documents into dynamic, interactive knowledge bases. You can converse with your information, you can debate ideas within it, you can co-create new summaries or analyses with it. For anyone facing that daunting mountain of information, researchers, students, professionals, NotebookLM makes bespoke expertise, grounded in your trusted sources, instantly available, instantly queryable, and most importantly, instantly verifiable. It dramatically accelerates that path from just having raw data to achieving deep understanding and generating actionable insights.
So looking ahead then, what's on the horizon for NotebookLM? What's Google's strategic outlook for this platform, especially given its rapid adoption and these unique capabilities? Where are they taking it next?
The platform's development trajectory, based on announcements and recent feature rollouts, indicates a very clear and ambitious strategy. It seems to be twofold. First, deepening its capabilities as a comprehensive learning and knowledge management suite, and second, embedding it even more inextricably within the broader Google ecosystem.
Okay, expanding as a learning suite. What does that look like?
We're going to see it expand significantly in that direction. Google has already announced the development of features like automated flashcards and quizzes generated directly from source materials. And they've hinted at more granular customization for these, allowing users to specify question types or difficulty levels. This clearly positions NotebookLM as potentially becoming an all-in-one study platform, really building out its pedagogical utility beyond just summarization and Q&A.
Turning it into a full study toolkit.
What about the ecosystem integration?
This is also a major strategic push. The planned addition of Gmail as a potential source type is incredibly significant. Imagine being able to pull key information from relevant email threads directly into your notebook alongside your documents and notes.
Wow, that would connect communication and knowledge. Exactly. This, combined with the existing deep Google Drive integration, aims to dissolve the traditional boundaries between communication apps, productivity tools, and knowledge management platforms. The strategy seems to be positioning NotebookLM as a central hub for managing and interacting with your entire digital information sphere within the Google world. This naturally increases the value and stickiness of the whole ecosystem for users.
Makes sense strategically. Any other areas of development?
They're also continuously enhancing the core features. We can expect more formats and customization options for things like the video overviews, and there's potential for integration with selected third-party platforms down the line, which could expand its multimodal and connective capabilities even further. And critically, on the business side, there's now a pilot program for something called NotebookLM Business.
NotebookLM Business, aiming at enterprise directly.
Precisely. This signals a major strategic push into the enterprise market. Think corporate training modules generated from internal documentation, sales enablement tools trained on product specs and competitor analyses, internal knowledge-sharing platforms powered by company wikis and reports. All of this would be backed by those enterprise-grade security features, dedicated support, and potentially more advanced administrative controls. This moves NotebookLM beyond being just a personal or small team tool into potentially becoming a powerful organizational asset for large companies.
It really sounds like NotebookLM serves a dual strategic purpose for Google then. On one hand, it's a genuinely powerful product solving real-world problems for users. But on the other hand, it's also arguably the most effective showcase for the advanced capabilities of the underlying Gemini models themselves, isn't it?
That's an astute observation, and I think it's absolutely correct. Every time a user generates an impressive video summary or an insightful mind map or shares one of those viral audio podcasts, it serves as a tangible, compelling, real-world demonstration of the power and sophistication of Google's foundational AI. It builds significant brand equity in their AI capabilities and drives the broader narrative of their technological leadership, perhaps more effectively than abstract benchmarks or demos sometimes can. As NotebookLM continues to evolve and integrate more deeply, it seems poised not just to be a useful tool, but potentially to become a central, defining experience of how we all learn, work, and interact with artificial intelligence in the coming years.
And that brings us toward the end of another deep dive. Today, we've taken a close look at Google's NotebookLM, really exploring it as a verifiable, multimodal AI partner that seems to be genuinely redefining how we interact with our own information. It helps you cut through the noise and hopefully get to those critical insights much faster.
It really represents, I think, a powerful shift, moving away from just passively consuming information towards actively creating, refining, and conversing with your own knowledge. It empowers you to become more of a knowledge architect, less of just a collector.
So the question we leave you with today is this. What possibilities does this kind of private grounded AI unlock for your personal knowledge growth? Or perhaps for your next big project, your research, or even just managing your daily information load? How might a tool like NotebookLM begin to shift the very definition of what it means to be truly well-informed in this rapidly evolving age of AI? Something to think about. We encourage you to explore that question, armed with the insights from today's deep dive.